dedicated to each and every one of you who appreciate a great glass of wine. You know what I mean?
It's Monday. Let's raise a glass to the beginning of another week. It's time to unscrew, uncork, or saber a bottle, and let's begin exploring the wine glass. Today, we're continuing our virtual visit to Santa Barbara and poring over more one-star reviews from Vega, and then moving on to Babcock Winery. From alleged closures without notice and frustratingly slow service to outright refusal of service for seemingly arbitrary reasons, it seems some of these wineries are serving up more than just wine. Join us as we uncork the truth and try to understand what makes a winery experience truly delightful or downright dismal. Please take a moment of your time to subscribe, rate, and review Exploring the Wine Glass. It's completely free, and it is a great way to let other wine lovers know about the podcast. Be sure to head over to the website, exploringthewineglass.com, to read my award-winning blog and to see what else I've been up to. And most of all, please tell your friends about the podcast. Slainte. Hey everybody, I'm Lori Budd, a UC Davis winemaking program, Spanish wine scholar, sommelier service, champagne and Côte d'Aron specialist, and a WSET Level 2 graduate. You can find Exploring the Wine Glass on all the socials, as well as your favorite podcast catchers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to swipe, subscribe, rate, and review. Stay in the know about all things wine by visiting my website, exploringthewineglass.com. I promise I'll never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wild episode of One Star Reviews, where I don't know why people just feel obligated to write what they write and think that they're being Oh, did we just have an earthquake on the East Coast?
I'd rather have an earthquake than this heat right now, but no, I had adjusted this to be a more flattering angle, and I must not have tightened the screw. That's what you get for vanity. I must not have tightened it enough. Sorry.
That's awesome. One star review for that.
One star review for this table. I'm going to Amazon right now.
So anybody who is listening on the podcast, you now need to go to the YouTube channel and just see what happens. So you can see what we're laughing about.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, we are going to start off today with, well, first, Martha, why don't you introduce yourself? That's a good thing. That's a good place to start off.
I am Martha McBride. I have a podcast called My Aloof Vagina, which is the real name of it. It's a comedy podcast about perimenopause. We were just talking about fried brains. It's the relatable things. And I love being on the show. It's so fun. It's so fun to read these reviews and think about what inspires people to write them, and then the things that they blame on the winery that are not under the winery's control.
Exactly. And that is what I love about this is just these people sit down and think that they are sounding intelligent. Maybe not, but they think they're doing something great. And 99%, because there are some times we have agreed with the consumer, but the majority of the time we're like, come on.
The righteous anger it's misplaced righteous anger.
Yes. And so we're going to diverge a little bit from the wineries to start off with one-star reviews from Martha.
Well, listen, I promised you I would do this, and I went to a favorite place in Mexico. I've been going a long time, and we had a not ideal experience our last night there for dinner. So I decided to write it up just for us.
Just for us, because we understand that sometimes things just are out of the hands of the winery or the restaurant or whatever. But this is kind of equivalent to some of the things we have heard before. So this is for Isla Burger, right? And we were
Isla Burger.
Isla Burger.
Yes.
Isla Burger.
It's Spanglish.
Okay. All right. And Cancun?
Near Cancun. It's an island off Cancun called Isla Mujeres, and people go there from Cancun a lot. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I've been coming to this island for more than 25 years, and this is a rather new restaurant. It's only been open for 5 years. We felt like having burgers, so we tried it out. First, they only have about 6 tables inside with the air conditioning, but it's not very charming. So we sat outside. It was so hot. I don't know why they don't have more fans and some form of air conditioning outside. It's so hot. And we went when?
Oh, June. We
June.
went to Mexico in June. And it was the hottest, just these are sidebars, but it was I've been there many, 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 many times. She and I have been there together more than 5 times. It was the hottest, and we've been there in June many times, like 4 or 5 times. The hottest week I've ever experienced on the island. So it's unusually hot.
This visit was on one of the hottest weeks of the year. It was unusually hot. So you would think that they would just put out fans. Obviously, the weather is super hot, more than usual. So obviously, they should have gone out, purchased more fans for this one week, and made sure that there was one right at your table.
Exactly.
The burger was okay. It was just hard to enjoy it because it was so hot. The fries had definitely been made from frozen. I would expect a place with burger and in their name to make their fries fresh from fresh cut potatoes. How else would you make them, right?
Right. Especially in Mexico.
Mexico, right? I'm pretty sure potatoes are grown everywhere. Right?
Yes.
And if that wasn't enough on the walk back to our condo, some American guy was kind of yelling as he walked past the restaurant with a case of beer on his shoulder. All right, I want to party with that guy. We ignored him and he called us grumpy old bitches. I would have walked right back into that restaurant and said, hey, this asshole out here just called me this and it's your fault.
Right, exactly.
So it really ruined any good memories we had of eating burgers there. Absolutely. With a burger restaurant that is merely steps away from 4 streets full of local authentic restaurants, you would think they would try to raise the bar and provide a better experience and better food. For that reason, we're giving it a 1 star. I love it. You are spot on with our people here. You are spot on. That is fantastic.
I mean, come on. Some of the best Mexican food in the world is right nearby. You think they would step up their game so that when we chose to go to a burger place, we would have a better experience.
Absolutely.
I could have written that for the pizza places too. We don't go to the pizza places, but if I went and the pizza wasn't the best, I would complain that my pizza in Mexico wasn't ideal.
Pizza in Mexico was not authentic Italian pizza.
Exactly.
1 star, 1 star. All right. Oh, and we did for the whole island, Isla Mujeres.
Yes.
This is a review of the whole island. We've been coming for a really long time and it has gotten so crowded. It's so crowded that we can't rent golf carts to travel around the island anymore. There are way too many people in golf carts and it's gotten way too expensive. See, the problem is just more people need to leave 1 star reviews and then there'll be less people going to the island and then you can get your golf carts.
Right? I should probably publish this one.
Yeah. And the beaches are so full of people and the restaurants are full of people and it's so annoying that there are so many tourists. Sad 1 star.
I mean, that is really how we felt, but we made fun of ourselves for that, right? Because like, come on, you can't go to it's listed, Playa Norte, which is the beach right there, is like top 5 beaches in the world.
Oh,
and once that got ranked and then we had pandemic travel and all that kind of stuff, it's a much busier place. But you know, like anything, we're like, oh, when we would like go and have to wait for a table, or when we would go to the beach and there'd be other people in the spot we wanted to sit, or we went to the beach club and there were only a couple seats left. We're like, oh my gosh, remember 15
when it was just us?
Yeah. So I thought I'd write a fake 1 star review for that.
Remember when nobody knew about this place and we were the only people who were in the restaurant, and they might have gone out of business, but
yeah, I mean, there was limited money for the locals. There was limited businesses and opportunities, and now they raised the prices. Oh, God forbid they get paid appropripriately. So yeah,
1 star. They get paid appropriately. 1 star. 1 star.
So, where are we going?
So today we are actually continuing from last trip. So if you remember, we were at Vega Vineyard and Farm,
Oh my
located,
gosh.
remember?
I ran into someone, oh my gosh,
You
I
at
meant to
winery?
text you. Yes, Sean Cassidy.
Sean
Are you,
Cassidy from the
we're,
Partridge Family.
yeah, well, no, Sean Cassidy was the brother who was in Hardy Boys.
Oh, Hardy Boys. Right, 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 right.
Yeah,
The
so
other
he's going
Cassidy
on
was,
tour, and my friend and I are going to go to his show. And so then I got on his Instagram, and sorry, this is so random, but then he has a wine called My First Crush. Isn't that
oh,
hilarious?
okay.
Like a vanity wine.
Right.
And they had a party there or a tasting
At
event there. And
Vega
I meant to
Vineyard.
text you to tell you, like, oh my gosh, I just saw one of our wineries. And so if Sean Cassidy thinks it's worthwhile, they probably
It,
aren't abusing their animals,
animals.
and it's probably a pretty nice space.
I'm going to go with yes with that. Way to
Yeah.
go, Sean Cassidy. Otherwise, we are going to, start throwing paint on you and all of that stuff because obviously you don't care about the animals. So
Yeah. So I'll
yes.
double check, but I'm pretty sure that was the one because I
Oh, that's
remember I
so
was going to
funny.
text you, but I was someplace. I think it was in Mexico. We saw that he announced his tour,
His tour.
and we bought our tickets. And so I think that's when I started following him, and I
Saw that.
saw
We'll
that.
have
So
to
I
check
didn't
that
want to
out because
text you from Mexico.
6 degrees of separation there.
I know. Maybe you could get
Wow.
us introduced to Sean
To Sean
Cassidy.
Cassidy. I know. We should
Because
try.
we saw Rick Springfield last summer through a connection of mine, and that was really awesome VIP experience. And that's why we were inspired to buy tickets for Sean Cassidy because we're reliving our youth.
Reliving the youth. Yes, yes. I have a friend who absolutely loves Sean Cassidy.
Me
She's
too.
she is in Canada. So I'm wondering if he's going up there. So
Maybe.
Heather, if you're listening to this, Sean Cassidy is going on tour.
It's small venues, and sorry, we're
Yeah, we're a rabbit hole. We're down a
yeah,
rabbit
we're on
hole.
a rabbit hole, but it's small venues. So the place we're going is right next to my apartment. This is what inspired it, right? He's gonna be
Oh,
right here by my house. Come stay at
maybe.
my house.
Yeah,
And
maybe he can
so,
spend the night with you.
right, maybe there aren't any hotel rooms, but that's hilarious. I think he's married. I have to do more stalking, but uh, it was something about the tour with the small venues. I don't know, but the idea that we get, oh, I added him on Spotify because I wanted to see, and so I didn't realize till I did that there maybe 5 of his 30 songs are songs that I know
No.
that were
Oh,
on
okay.
those albums from when I was a kid. He apparently continued to make music for many, many years. So who knows if we'll know any of the
Oh,
songs of the
all
show.
right.
I'm
Well,
sure he'll
sounds
play
fun.
the hits, but
Hey,
yeah.
write a 1-star review for that.
Oh, right. I will come back and write a 1-star review about Sean Cassidy's concert and how he only sang to Do Run Run, and
Do run, run. That's right.
there are only
All
five
right.
songs I knew. He should have played more of the
More
songs from the
songs.
70s.
Right, right. All right. So we are back at Vega Vineyard and Farm at 9496 Santa Rosa Road in Buellton and 4.9 stars. So the
Oh, yeah.
majority of people are agreeing with Sean Cassidy. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is a winery and bar serving lunch, weekend brunch, and dinner with live music. Maybe he's going to play there and farm animals. People mentioned animals were treated badly, complained that it wasn't dog friendly, even though they explicitly say they are. And if you remember from last time, remember kids are allowed to scream, but dogs are not allowed to bark.
Dogs are allowed to bark, just not more than 3 times,
Right, right. I think it
right?
was 3 times. The fourth time to the car,
You're
doesn't
out.
matter what the weather is. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's continue and see what other concerns we have. So this is from Natalie. This is not even a hello, just a how you're doing.
Oh, how you doing?
So this, here we go down another rabbit hole. This reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where the bank, I think it's Seinfeld, where the bank guarantees that they will say hello to everybody who comes in, or they're going to get a gift, something. And Kramer walks in and they say, "How you doing today?" And he wants his gift because they didn't say hello. So this is Natalie. Natalie is Kramer.
So, but that make it's so on the nose. It makes me wonder if she knows.
Right?
Like, is this on purpose? Like, Natalie also is a Seinfeld fan, and she's like, they not even a hello, just a how you
How you
doing.
do it.
Let's see what she says. Let's see if she's
Okay.
self-aware.
All right. There were about 10 tables open, and we just wanted to do a wine tasting, but they couldn't even do that. The man told us there's a V-Day dinner, but I guess our wine tasting was more than they could handle for two people. Yeah. You're going there on Valentine's Day. There's 10 tables with people who have reservations.
And probably had a ticket price. They probably paid a ticket for that dinner.
Right.
So they showed up on Valentine's Day. Okay, so now another sidebar. I wish everyone had worked in service. I wish everyone had been a busboy or a hostess or a server or a bartender in their life to have the perspective when they're out in the world. Because if you had ever worked in any kind of restaurant ever, you would know Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, New Year's Eve, right? You would
Right.
know the 3 days of the year when the restaurant's just trying to hold it together.
Yep.
Like
New Year's Eve, right?
we've already cursed, so I'll say it's a shit show and everyone's just trying to do their best, right?
Yep.
And so you go in and you know that if you must go out on Valentine's Day or you must take your mom to a restaurant on Mother's Day, which most of us do have to, because it's hard to treat her unless you're all going to cook,
Right.
or you're going to really go out on New Year's Eve, you have to know that those folks are not with their mom,
Right.
right? They're not with their lover.
Right.
They're not, they're at work because someone has to
Have
serve
to
you
serve you.
and you're probably understaffed. There are people who call in sick at the last second. I got the
Right.
black lung on New Year's Eve, right?
Yep.
So you're almost always short-staffed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
Wow.
go with really on Valentine's Day, you're just winging it.
Well, exactly. Is it female or male? Is it a woman or man?
Natalie.
Oh,
So,
Natalie. Sorry, I
Natalie.
forgot. Natalie.
Natalie.
Um, that is an unambiguous woman's name. So, yeah, Natalie. Natalie's just mad inside
Right.
because her partner, whoever it is, hadn't made other
Right.
plans.
Didn't they just were winging Valentine's Day? And that is
Yeah.
not a day you wing. That is
No, and
not
that
a
is
day
not
you
the
wing.
winery's fault. But
No.
anyway, continue.
Yes. Okay. Jimmy M.
Oh, that was all she had to say?
That was it. That was it. No, that was the end of
Okay.
her review. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. She did the mic drop.
Yeah, but I
Didn't say
like
hello.
reviews like that. I like
Didn't like
reviews like
hello.
that because anyone who reads it will be like, yeah, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Or like 90% of people will read it and go, wait, you went on Valentine's Day without a
Okay.
reservation?
Right. Right.
Right.
So
And they're going to
everybody
not
is
take the one
anti-Natalie.
serious.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Great.
right. Let's see if Jimmy M does a little more, realism with his review. So, what a fall from grace this place has taken in only a year.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
okay, so Jimmy M has been there before.
Is this his second review or an updated review?
It is not an updated
Okay.
review. No.
Huh. Jimmy didn't have
Last,
anything to say when it was nice.
no, he did
Jimmy
not.
didn't leave a review when he had a good time.
He did not, but he's going to explain his first time. Last year, we visited and became wine club members because of how charming this place was. Again, then leave a 5-star review.
Right. Yeah.
This year, dot, 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 boom, boom. Well, we had a reservation scheduled for this past Thursday to have lunch and to pick up our wine. We even received a call the day prior to confirm our reservation. So we arrived for our reservation only to find the winery closed.
Oh, no. What?
We received no notice whatsoever, no email, no text, no phone call. With all the different ways we have to communicate with one another nowadays, we received zero communication other than the one confirming us, telling us we were good to go. We called the winery on the spot, but there was no answer. So my wife left a voicemail. Later that evening, I also sent an email to try to find out what happened. 5 days later, no reply. So I called again and left another message. To date, we have received no response. I don't know what's going on over there, but this isn't how you treat customers or club members. So we will be canceling and will not bother returning.
I mean, Jimmy, as long as Jimmy didn't get the wrong date and he went on a Tuesday and they're closed on Tuesdays, right? And thought his reservation was that date, I can't think of an excuse for why they wouldn't get back to him.
Well, let's find out why they did
Oh,
it.
I love it when they reply. Okay,
The
good.
best part. Owner responds, "Oh my goodness, Jimmy, I remember that day very well. And we had thought as a team, we had called the reservations we had in the books. I am so sorry. I understand your frustration and we apologize. I am without a doubt, without words, upset about it. It would love, it says, it would love nothing better than to fix the situation. This clearly not the way we usually handle situations, and my deepest apologies. I'll be sending you a direct message so we can communicate further." So,
Why did they
yeah,
close?
no excuse. No excuse. Just, I remember that day. Not like
Maybe she
we had
thinks
a
it isn't his
power failure.
business. Like maybe like something awful happened. I don't know. I can't imagine what would
Like,
take out the whole staff.
right, like maybe they lost power,
Yeah.
or I mean, I know, like here, in Paso, when it rains or whatever, sometimes the vineyard wineries need to close because the roads, the mudslides and all, that happen. And so they close, and they'll even put it on social media, closed today for, road issues, or, stay home, be safe, and I would assume they call. But she's at least saying that they thought they handled everybody. She must have divvied out, you call these five people, you call these five people, you call these five people. But
And it might have been sudden, something like that. What time of year was it?
I don't have the date.
Oh, there's not a date when they left
There is, but I guess I didn't copy it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because if it was something like the mudslides, yeah, you would be kind of trying to get out of there quickly, or something happened, some pipe
yeah,
broke and no one goes in. And so you call your staff and say, hey, will you call the reservations? And everyone thinks that they did it and somehow they
right,
missed one.
right,
I can see where you could miss one and you would feel awful. The two things I don't see is why you don't explain why you had to close unexpectedly in this response. You go to the trouble of
right.
responding. Maybe it's something private, so that's why
Yeah.
she wants to send him a DM. Um,
But I'm also going to say
not responding to his
that to,
messages.
yeah, they called that night and they called the next day and he sent a message. So I'm with Jimmy on this one.
Yeah, me too. No, totally.
I mean, I get it. The owner feels very, very sorry about it.
She just
And
feels very, very sorry there's a 1-star review.
I, I,
She felt
I'm
really,
going to
really,
give her the credit. I'm going to give
yeah,
her the credit of, she really does feel sorry. Um, and maybe she just feels I'll explain it to Jimmy.
maybe.
You
Yeah,
know,
and listen, for instance, I had a situation, well, it's two things. We had a blackout and I had to text all the members and we had to send an email and then we had to send another one because it wasn't ready or it took days. Then we
mm,
lost all the food and so we couldn't reopen right away because we had to get the food replaced because of the multi-day power outage. So things happen.
right.
And easily could have overlooked we contacted all the individuals who had reservations. We easily could have overlooked one that would have happened and we would have felt terrible. Um, Recently someone was being trained and they answered the phone when they shouldn't have.
Uh-oh.
Someone was outgoing. They answered the phone when they shouldn't have, and they expressed their frustration by being like short with the person who called. They
Oh,
never should have answered the phone, right? But there was a reason they were leaving, right? But I didn't want to say even to that person that,
right.
right? So I just said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that
That
you
happened.
that someone they shouldn't answer the phone if because he said they were working on this and this." And I was like, "Oh, if they were working on that, they shouldn't answer the phone. You're totally right." And, 'cause any
Right.
whatever, any comfort that person was under a lot of pressure because it was their last day was today.
Oh, right.
And right? So like maybe he could have read into it.
Right.
Because sometimes you don't want to. So maybe she has something like the reservations person. Um, Maybe there's someone like she's the owner and there's someone else who's responsible and she doesn't
Right.
want to air the dirty laundry
Right. And that's what I'm
like
thinking.
I
That's what
just
I'm
did.
getting out of this.
Sorry.
that that's what I'm getting out of this is that
Yeah.
willing to tell Jimmy, but and quite honestly, I don't think if something happened, um, I don't think I would have said it. I think I would have responded the way she responded. And I'm saying
Yeah,
it's a
me
she.
too.
It could be a guy, the
Yeah.
owner. But I think I would have responded the way she responded because oh my God, we effed up
Yeah,
royally.
me too.
And I am
Totally.
just telling you, we effed up. If you're willing to read my DM, we will go a
Yeah,
little further. But I'm still going with Jimmy. I'm still
me
going
too.
with Jimmy
I
on this
think they should have responded
a lot
unless
earlier.
it was a wholesale. That's what reminded me that, sorry. Unless it was a wholesale situation where someone was really not doing a good job. And that's why even after he didn't get a response and now that person's been cleared out or something,
Right.
you know, maybe someone got arrested. Maybe one person's the opener and they're the
Right.
key holder and they got arrested in the parking lot and the staff all showed up, right, and couldn't get in, and then they called the owner, and the owner's in Hawaii. Like
Right.
these are the kind of things that
There's
happen.
are things that can happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so then the owner couldn't fire that person until they got back. And so it was like a week before they were back. By the time they got back, the email inbox was so full of emails that they just totally overlooked his.
Yep.
Maybe the person didn't want the owner to know they were arrested, thought they'd cover up. So they deleted the voicemails
Yeah.
and they deleted the emails. Like, I
Or
don't know.
maybe that's what happened is the person was getting fired
Yeah.
and
Oh,
said, "Oh, all right, we're going to delete every email there was."
every voicemail. Like things happen.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
So
So
yes,
I'm going to give the owner kudos for accepting it and
yes.
acknowledging that they were wrong, but I'm still going with Jimmy.
I still think Jimmy has to write this kind of a review because he made a lot of effort. He made a good faith effort to try to figure out what had happened and
Right.
no one got back to him. And he's like, I can't even get a response
Right.
from them. So I'm going to have to just leave a review so people
Review.
know they might just close randomly on a whatever
Right.
day that was.
Right. And I do think it's funny that they called the day before to confirm. So
Well,
right there means it's an emergency, right?
that's how
It
you
was an
know like
emergency.
something happened.
Right. Right. All
Maybe
right.
maybe someone got hauled off for that animal abuse.
Excuse. Could
I'm
be.
just kidding. We should be careful with this
Or
because this could
maybe
start
Sean
rumors.
Cassidy came that day. Maybe that's the day Sean Cassidy was there.
Yes. And they're like, we can't risk him being mobbed by middle-aged
Right.
women.
Yes.
We have got to keep the people out of this place tonight.
Because Sean Cassidy, he wants the whole place. It's
Yes.
really Sean Cassidy's fault.
Yes, right. Gosh, Sean.
And she couldn't write that because, right?
No, it's Sean
It's Sean Cassidy.
One of the biggest stars in the world. Actually, to me, he is. But,
All
anyway.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's one of those things where you can see why it happened, but he has a point.
He
on
has
his
a
side,
point.
too.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Linda F. Good wines. My housemate belongs to their wine club. It could be a good place to stop for a tasting, but I've always skipped that treat since I personally find the staff rude, distant, and unwelcoming. Yeah, they only say, "How you doing? How you doing?"
They don't say hello. They say,
"How
"Hey,
you doing?
how you doing? How you doing?"
Perhaps it's a YT thing, and
That's white.
perhaps they give everyone the "I wouldn't think so." I don't even understand what that means. Perhaps it's a YT thing.
That's white. That's saying white.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You got all of the. I was going like like the YT.
I work with young
isn't that a
people.
book? Isn't that like a
Well,
book type
yeah.
thing?
Like
The young reading, like Hunger
YR
Games is
novels.
a YT. Isn't Hunger Games like a YT thing? Right? It's a youth. I mean, adults read it, but it's meant for a younger thing.
You know what? I think I did just Google this. I think I had to Google something because my old person self couldn't understand it. So maybe I'm saying white, but it's like youth. So maybe
But white kind of does make sense.
Well, I've seen it in some comments and stuff. I've seen it. This is the most middle-aged mom thing.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Looking to be in the know about Dracaena wines? Want to be the first to know about our new releases and special offers? All you need to do is sign up for our newsletter. There is no commitment necessary, and I promise you we won't spam your mailbox with loads of messages. Need another reason to sign up? Quite possibly the best reason? You'll immediately get a discount code for 10% off your first purchase and be privy to newsletter-only discounts. Let Dracaena Wines turn your moments into great memories. Visit our website, www.dracaenawines.com, or use the link in show notes to sign up. It will take you less than a minute, but the rewards will last a lifetime. And
Okay.
AI says,
It says YT commonly stands for you there.
you there. No, AI, you're wrong on that one.
I agree. New
I
slang
thought
word,
it meant something to do with books, like that's the genre,
maybe.
but maybe that's
It stands for YouTube. It stands for you there. It stands for white.
okay.
Um,
I'm
but
gonna
I
say you're
think
probably right. It's a white thing. Seriously,
maybe
you can't just type out white. It's like 3 letters more.
I
And you had
think
to do capital, capital. So it's really less if you just type out white.
it's the youth.
Okay.
That's why I think it might be a youth thing. So there's in between you and me. I think you and I are around the same age. So we're Gen X.
Yes.
And then there's those Gen Z.
Right. So
In
the
between is the millennials.
millennials.
And the millennials are now referring to the Gen Zs in certain ways, like
Oh, okay.
turning against them.
Okay.
And kind of like we turned against the millennials. We didn't, the boomers did. We kind of were neutral,
We don't care.
right?
Yeah, I don't
We
care.
don't care. But so it might be that this person's a millennial, which could be almost 40 now, by the way. Millennials are older than we imagine, but they still have their own slang. So maybe the people who work there are young. And
Maybe.
there's a whole thing about these Gen Z folks not being super like customer friendly.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's a youth thing, like, but that YT is like a way to refer to the youth.
Okay.
I may be totally wrong. I'm like
I don't
Homer Simpson, the grandpa in The Simpsons,
know.
trying to
Is
explain
that.
something right now.
So I'm looking it up and it says YT is a common abbreviation for that. All
So
right. So
she's
I
maybe
think you're right. It sounds like, I mean, it could be a white thing. Okay. Perhaps it's a white thing. And perhaps they give everyone the, I wouldn't think so. I still don't understand it.
oh, I think it in context. We're having this conversation this way. I think in context, it's youth. It's like I think it's a youth thing. Like they give everybody
Okay.
the I don't think so. Like, right?
Oh, oh, but they say wouldn't think so. Like it's like the thing that's going on in on Instagram and TikTok now where they're like, oh, working with like whatever generation it is, that somebody's at the bar and they're like doing the two, and
Yeah.
the person behind the counter's like the duck, lips,
Yeah.
and the guy's like, no, two, and she's like, whatever, and he's like, two more beers. um,
So maybe
okay,
it's, I just think they're saying basically maybe it's just this generation
it
and they're
is.
just
This
whatever.
I
They
don't
don't
think so.
care.
Okay.
They're
All right.
whatevs.
Whatevs. All right. Okay.
Is
So,
that
woo,
modern?
that went down a whole other rabbit hole. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyhow, one of the winemakers, and I love when people call people out, Steve Clifton, is amazing. Good for you, Steve. And I would go anywhere to get his wine, even here. Staying for a drink? Nope.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So Steve is awesome. Steve
The
makes
wine's
great
good.
wine, but she just doesn't like
She
the
thinks that their
whatever.
staff is
Yeah.
rude.
Things or just non-caring.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
don't care.
All right. Well, ooh,
So
that was a
I
tough one.
mean,
That one gave me a headache.
it's a good entry back into our show, your
Yes.
show that I'm on, that our banter. Um, I wonder if it's true I'm on the customer side. If it's like they're just really unpleasant, unfriendly, fine.
Yeah.
If they're standoffish because they're the youth, right?
Yeah.
That's also
The
you
two
got
Utes. The
the
two
two youths.
Utes.
You got to work with it. Like we have a young staff too, and you have to be like, yeah, you smile,
Yeah.
smile,
Yeah.
because it's not necessarily it's not the aesthetic they're going for anymore, right?
Right.
Going
Right.
for a cooler aesthetic.
So,
I'm using aesthetic wrong, but Nan, they use aesthetic for
yep.
all sorts of things. So, I don't know if they're rude. I'm on the customer side
Yep.
in this because, yeah, it says a lot about Steve Clifton's
Yes.
wine
Woohoo!
that she's
Five
still
stars
going
for
there.
Steve Clifton.
Yeah, that she's still going there even when the staff is rude.
Yes.
Is there a
Uh,
response?
Nope, no response.
Probably because they know what Y team
How do
meant.
you,
And they're like,
yeah,
I don't know. And
I
I don't
don't
want
know,
to,
and I'm not
I
getting
don't want to
into
take
it.
the risk of like addressing it wrong because I don't know what it is. Um,
But
I don't, yeah.
but
I don't think we've
Brad,
seen other complaints about the service, have we?
well, Brad here is going to concur with her.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Hey,
the wine is excellent. He apparently likes Steve Clifton also. The food is excellent, but their service absolutely sucks.
oh,
It took us 1.5 hours to taste 5 wines at $25 a person. Okay, I don't think 1.5 hours for 5 wines is insane. Like,
no.
I, I don't think that's insane. And then at
Right.
$25. So if it was $10 a person, do you think it should be 20 minutes? If it was $50, is it supposed to be 20 minutes? I don't get the
Or maybe it should be faster if you pay more. We pay $25. Line
right,
them up,
right, right.
right?
So I don't think if you're physically tasting, like our tastings run about an hour, but if you're talking to me and you're asking questions, I've had people in there for 2 hours and it's 5 wines. So
Yeah.
the hour and a half, I don't get. And the correlation to the $25, I don't get. We actually bought a bottle and asked if they would comp the tasting with a purchase. Wow. You must buy a case of wine to get a comp for 2 tastings, 6 bottles for 1 tasting. Outrageous. I agree. Now about the food service. He's got a part B.
Oh my.
The waiter completely ignored us for at least a half hour before even coming to our table. In the meantime, the manager asked us how we were doing and ordered us an appetizer. Meanwhile, while we finished up the appetizer, the waiter still hadn't come to our table. He was too busy with a party of 8 next to us. We finally ordered, and after waiting another half hour, the manager went to find out where our food was. To top that, we told the waiter that we had waited for so long for our food that the bottle of wine we purchased was gone. He poured us 2 new glasses, and when we got the final bill, he charged us for the wine.
How dare he?
How dare he? You asked for more wine. Okay.
Right.
Before dinner, we had already spent $85 on wine for the tasting and the bottle we purchased, and he charged us another $24 for wine we really didn't ask for. We wanted to take our daughter over there over Thanksgiving, but there is no way we will ever go back there. It's just a tourist trap. There's a lot going on there that the correlations do not make sense. So,
Wait, is his name Brad? His name's Brad?
Brad.
I think Brad, something else is going on with Brad. It's the thing behind the thing. Brad has something else going on that's
Yes.
making him so upset. Even though I can see things that could have been done better, but it's that closing line of it's a tourist trap that makes you
Right.
think he has a chip on his shoulder about Santa Barbara. People
But
come,
yeah,
he's like me on Isla Mujeres.
there you go.
Why are there so many people here
Here.
now?
Yes,
Right?
exactly. There's just way too many people. I mean, there's a party of 8. I should be getting, well, on that half, if there is a party of 8, there should be another server.
And if there isn't, that manager should have just taken care of that table.
Right. And it sounded like the manager did. I don't understand why the waiter had
A
to keep
little
going
bit.
back. Right.
I don't know why
Okay,
the manager didn't take their entree order
Right.
when it was clear that the server was still working on that 8 top.
Right.
But
Right. Yeah. So, but I still go with, I don't get the correlations. An hour and a half to taste 5 wines at $25 a person. That doesn't correlate. Then I'm going to go with his math. Okay. We actually bought a bottle and asked if they would comp. So no on the comp. Okay. Now the food service, right? So before dinner, we had already spent $85. So
yeah.
the tasting was 25. That's 50, right? Because there's 2 of them. And so they bought a $35 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that $35 bottle of wine then was charged $12
A glass.
a glass. Oh, that does make
That's
sense.
appropriate.
Yep, my math didn't
Yeah.
make sense. Yeah, no, that's absolutely appropriate.
Because it wasn't $24 a glass, it was 24 total, right? Yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
normal
That's
wine
appropriate. So
glass
if the
markup.
bottle was $35 at
Yeah.
$12, you're hitting it at three glasses.
Yeah.
That's pretty much spot on. Okay. But then we were going to come back for Thanksgiving, but not doing it now. Like
Well, I mean, if
and
he
then it's
didn't
a
like
tourist
that
trap.
8 top on a random day, he is not going to
Yeah.
like the crowd at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So the math makes sense, but there's still a lot of
So
the correlations just don't make sense to me.
I feel like, sorry, Brad, we're gonna critique this like telling a story. I feel like he was front loading with that information about how much the tastings cost because he wanted to make a point about that $24 that he
There's
paid for those glasses of wine,
right.
right? And then the other thing is, an hour and a half is not a lot for a
What
tasting.
Yeah. And aren't you there to enjoy an afternoon? What do you want? To, like 10 minutes and
You have
chow
someplace to
down?
go.
Two,
You're just
10.
here to like take
Yeah.
5 shots of wine. I
Yeah.
mean, don't you want to talk about it with them or with your, I think he said he was with his wife, like discuss it with your wife and enjoy
Just
your
have a
time
night.
together at the
Yay.
beautiful winery.
You're supposed to be enjoying your time together, not looking at your watch.
Yeah.
But we have a response.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oops,
Hi,
sorry.
Brad. Thank you for sharing about your less than pleasing experience here. We clearly missed the mark on your visit, and I'm so sorry for that. This is absolutely not okay, and we will be discussing it with our staff. I really appreciate you letting us know. We love Yelp as it allows us to make corrections when they need to be made, a report card of sorts. And on this day, we got an F. We take your review very seriously, as this is not how we like to represent ourselves, and you can see that in our other reviews. This owner is a good responder.
They are.
I would like to take care of your check during your visit that day as an attempt to give you a better taste of our food, service, and ambience. Do you mind messaging me directly with the details? I'm at, and she gives her full on email. Again, thank you for speaking up. It's much appreciated.
Class act.
Wow, that is a great response.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to say, Brad did not update his review.
So listen, I don't know Brad, but I'm gonna pretend I know Brad. And that is not what Brad wanted. Brad wanted an outlet for his ire and that she was apologetic and ready to make it right.
Yep.
I imagine he didn't reply. Like, we don't want to come back to your place.
Right,
Or
we're just
I'll
not
just
gonna
take a
come back.
refund. Yeah. So he can't update it because he can't say, hey, we went back and it was really
And it
great.
was great. Right. Right. So I was gonna say, as this review happens, so one of the things that bothers me, like if I send, I don't review United, but I'm on United so much that I send United quite a few emails.
Yeah.
Like, I got there, my luggage was lost. You told me you found it and you brought me all completely different luggage. I don't even put that on a review. That's an email to them.
Right. Or the Wi-Fi was out.
Right.
Again.
Right. Again. But one of the things that bothers me is when United takes 5 days or so to reply to my email, and then you can tell it's just a plug in. And we will discuss this with personnel, blah, blah, blah. And I always write back, that's real great. That's real great that you're going to talk to your personnel about it. That does nothing for me.
Yeah.
That
Right.
does
It doesn't.
absolutely nothing for me. I did not have Wi-Fi for an 8-hour flight
Right.
that I was supposed to be working on. Or I lost my luggage for 48 hours because you sent it to the wrong airport.
Yeah.
You discussing that with your staff does nothing for me. So I like that because that's where I thought she was going. We will discuss this, but then goes on to say, I will cover your costs. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That it is also opening yourself up to people leaving bad reviews just to get money. But
I know.
but
I
very
know.
nice, Kara. And we were right. It's a she. Owner
Yeah.
response, Kara.
And then you could always, then people can just go there and say, no one even said hello. They just said,
Right.
how you doing?
How you doing?
So
Pay for my food.
pay for my food.
All right. Natalie W. This is the last one for Vega. Let's see what she's got. It is mostly women.
Yeah. And that's a second Natalie, right?
Second Natalie. Is it? Yes. Natalie B and Natalie W.
Yes.
Terrible service. Food was okay. Wines were meh, and they
Oh,
don't comp your tasting if you buy wine. Not that I wanted to. I spit and dumped most of it.
oh, wow, she
Okay.
really.
She she had an opinion.
Oh man, what's the winemaker's name again?
Steve Clifton, right?
Fortunately, he had a lot of fans.
Yes, I think, And again, this is this is not a one-star review. Wine is subjective.
Yeah.
You may think it's the worst wine ever, and obviously a bunch of people think it's the best wine ever. That's not a one-star review. You
No,
just didn't like it. Okay. Yeah. And that's just all mean. That's just mean. I spit and dumped most of it.
she's just being mean
She's just
because
mean.
she's mad because something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's having a bad day.
Having a bad day. All right. We are going to a winery that I absolutely have been to and I absolutely love.
Bye, Sean
Uh,
Cassidy.
yeah. Bye, Sean.
Watch me be wrong. Watch me be remembering wrong. I have to
A
go back
different
and
winery.
look.
That would be
Watch it
so
not
funny.
be that winery. But he does have a wine line called My First
My favorite
Crush.
crush. All
Yeah.
right. Maybe we'll review that.
Ooh, I don't know if it's a winery though. I think it's just a wine.
Well,
I feel like
I'm sure
maybe
people
Steve,
have left reviews.
maybe this guy. I looked it up on Vivino and it wasn't there at all.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
maybe it's new. I mean, I've not been tracking his career, so I don't
Sure.
know. Yeah,
Sure.
I have not been stalking him until recently, but maybe it's a new wine. Um, and maybe this winemaker makes it,
Oh, then it's
right?
going to be good because Steve Clifton
Yeah,
rocks as a winemaker.
exactly. So, but watch me be wrong. It's not Steve Clifton's wine at all.
Okay. That would be funny.
Yeah,
All right. We are
hilarious.
going to go to Lompoc on 5175 East Highway 246, and we are going to Babcock Winery. Now,
Wait,
I
there's a
know
Babcock
Babcock.
winery down there. Isn't there one also up in Napa?
I don't know. I only know
Oh,
this one.
it's just a Babcock estate, but maybe it's not an actual winery up in Napa because we took pictures of it once because that's a friend's last name.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah,
okay.
huh,
So
interesting.
I am very familiar. I haven't been there in a while, but I'm very familiar with this winery. I will say that the owner is wonderful. Uh, when you walk in, you're tasting in like this big barn, but like this side is got couches and things like that. And then the other side is like you walked into like whatever that show is where the guy goes into barns and finds all of the antiques.
Oh, okay.
You
Antiques
know,
Roadshow?
yeah,
No.
something.
Is
Well,
that
no,
yeah.
because the road show is when you go into some room or whatever. This is the
Oh,
guy
okay.
who like drives the truck and then goes in and crawls into the barns and finds all of these cool things.
Oh,
So,
wow.
like, this side is like just all rustic, fun things that you can look at and buy and all that. They are, when we were there, mostly Pinot, like 8 different types of Pinot. Pleasant place. Um, and so I saw this. I was like, okay, let's do this. This is one I actually have been to and I know.
Right. So
And
you can actually provide rebuttals.
yes, I can provide rebuttals. So they have a 4.7 star review. Uh, and according to Babcock, join us for passionately handcrafted wines and gourmet picnic fare in an unbelievably nostalgic, soulful atmosphere. Absolutely true. Exactly what I was saying, right? All this antique stuff. Surround yourself with meticulously curated art, fashion, vinyl, and vintage finds while listening to 70s and 80s rock and roll. Connect with friends in one of our many cozy indoor vignettes or settle into one of our many outdoor tables. An hour's drive north of beautiful Santa Barbara will land you here at Babcock Winery in the heart of California's hottest Pinot Noir country, the Santa Rita Hills. We have plenty of space and are family and pet on leash friendly. Parking is never an issue. You park anywhere. It's just like
Yeah.
dirt roads everywhere, right? Parking is never an issue. And with our newly planted oak trees flourishing, the property continues to become more stunning each year.
That sounds a lot like the old place. Have you ever been to the old place?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's
you
also
know.
in that area, but the way they described it, I'm like that sounds exactly like that from the music and the
Yeah.
rustic and the grounds. But I don't think the old place is a winery. They just have wine.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah. So this is like you walk in and you've got the cozy sitting areas. They have like that massive industrial refrigerator. So if you want to pull out, your own little charcuterie, you can sit and purchase the charcuterie. The bar is barrels with oak tree wood on top, but it's rustic, which is
yeah,
what I consider its charm.
yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, which I'm not 100% sure, I think the worst thing that I thought was that you go into this driveway and it's a split driveway. And there's not really a sign that says that way, right? And so twice we ended up at the other winery.
A
And
different
that's our
winery.
fault. That's
Yeah,
our fault, right?
that's
And it's
hilarious.
fine. We would have gone to the other winery also because we
Yeah.
like that winery. Um, but I could be wrong. But this is where I'm thinking there's the split. So
Okay.
that's it. Other than that, I think it's the cutest place ever. Okay. Don Gerard. I love when they give their full names because they
I
are
know.
like, yes. Okay.
Listen to me. This is my opinion.
Yes.
Has my
Here,
stamp of approval.
here I am, Don Gerard. Showed up at 4:30 p.m. on June 9th with 8 people. We already know where I'm going to go with this.
Yeah. Does he not have, does he have a reservation?
We were told we could not sample wines. They were closing at 5 p.m.
Oh yeah.
We were continually told that we could not be served any wine. Granted, this may be company policy, but we were not told that, just continually no from the person behind the counter. Ugh. Left the tasting room after 2 minutes after futile attempts to try a wine. A member told us to please come back. The place is great. Meh. Doubt we'll be back.
450 he showed up?
4:30.
Oh.
4:30. So he showed up at 4:30
Oh.
with 8 people. They close at 5 p.m. The person, I'm sorry, we can't serve you. Again, do not show up to a winery with 8 people
Without
and
a reservation.
without a reservation. And secondly, this man is complaining about an hour and a half. Maybe what's his name should have gone here because he would have been, maybe Brad should go to Babcock because he was complaining about 1.5 hours.
Right.
This he's got 10 minutes basically, right?
I mean, were they weren't even able to buy a bottle to drink?
I
That's what's
they
so, yeah.
not No, that is not what it says.
Yeah.
He just wanted to taste.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
You know what? At 4:30, he's probably already gassed the bottles
Yeah.
and he's on cleanup. He's getting ready to leave 4 or 5 o'clock. So, Don, wah, thumbs down to you, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm concerned that then if they're going to be gassed up and ready to leave at 4:30, that the closing time should be 4:30, right?
Uh, I get it,
Yeah.
but at 8 people, that person is not leaving at 5 o'clock.
Right.
That person's
So,
leaving at six
oops, sorry.
o'clock.
Maybe he told him, "Oh, we can't do a taste." I'm just so curious. There's so much left out.
Right.
Like, what did he tell him? Did he tell him, we can't do a tasting for 8? Did he offer him any alternative?
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
just
They
says we were
certainly can't
totally
finish a tasting for 8 and half an
half an
hour.
hour, right? We were repeatedly told we could not be served any wine.
That's the part that's confusing to me. Served
Yeah.
any wine.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he might be an unreliable narrator.
Right. Because I'm going to say if we close at 5 and there's nobody in the tasting room at 4:30, I start to turn the sign over. I
Sure.
turn the sign over. I start to clean up because if somebody comes in at 4:45,
Right.
I'm not getting out of there till 6 o'clock minimum, right?
Right.
So I I kind of get it, but again, you can't show up to someplace with 8 people and expect
I
to
think
do a
it's the 8
tasting.
people. The people's where he's losing sympathy.
Right. And I
Because
honestly think that if the guy came in by himself or with another person,
they
you
could have
know,
done it.
right. And
Yeah.
same thing. I've done it. I've had the close sign already there and people came in and said, "Oh, we're trying to do a tasting. Is that possible?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, we can do it." Right? Because
Right.
you're trying to, you know.
Yeah, sell wine.
So, but 8 people, nope,
It's
done.
right. Yeah. Sorry.
All right,
Yeah.
Sandy. Negative stars for this place.
What does
And
Sandy
I've
have to
been a club member
say?
for 4 years. I have belonged to many clubs over the years, and I can say that I have never experienced anything like the fiasco at Babcock. Brianna specifically, but Jamie got involved as well.
Oh,
Regarding my fall wine club shipment, oh yeah, she's calling everyone out, right? About 3 weeks out from my fall wine club shipment, I emailed the wine club asking if they could postpone my shipment by a couple of days because I would be out of town on that Monday and Tuesday when it was scheduled to be delivered. Brianna wrote me back and acknowledged they would ship it out on Wednesday for a Thursday delivery. On Sunday night, I received an email from UPS about an upcoming Babcock wine delivery set for Monday, which needs a signature. I write Brianna, Wine Club, and she assures me that this is just a new system and that it would not be shipping until Wednesday for a Thursday delivery. Okay, fine. On Monday, while on vacation, I got a ring notification. Yep, you guessed it. It was UPS trying to deliver my wine. Unfortunately, I was out hiking because I was on vacation. I needed to relax.
Brianna, or her name's not Brianna. Sandy. Sandy's like, I'll admit, I'm tightly wound at the
I'll tell
moment.
you well right now. Uh, so missed the ring call. Later that day, I tried to call Brianna, listened to the whole message so I could leave a voicemail. Mailbox full.
Oh
Could not leave
no.
a message. I do hate when that happens. Next, I sent Brianna an email saying that there was an attempt to deliver the wine. Never heard anything back that day. UPS tried to deliver the wine the following day as well, but of course I was not home.
Right.
Finally, late Wednesday,
She's like, I was in a
some
massage when I got
it was
the ring camera. All the relaxation was gone in an instant. You know?
I need to relax more. Um, uh,
Sorry.
that was good. Finally, late Wednesday, somebody named Jamie calls me and wants the UPS routing number so they can tell UPS to bring the wine back and tells me they will reship a fresh order to me the following Monday. That's actually very nice.
Yeah.
So while on vacation, trying to relax, I searched my emails to find the UPS routing number for her. Shouldn't they have had this information? They are the shippers. Never hear another thing from them. Monday goes by, Tuesday goes by, no wine, no email, no phone call. Tuesday evening, I tried to call again, but of course, no one answered and the mailbox was full. I send an
Oh my
email
gosh.
confirm I send an email confirming that my wine has actually been reshipped. I hear nothing until Wednesday evening when Brianna leaves me a voicemail saying sorry again that they dropped the ball and to call her. I tried to call, but of course, no answer and voicemail box is full. I sent her another email on Wednesday, no response. This is like a week later. I send
I
another
mean,
email.
this is her stress level just going up and up and up.
Thursday, no response. I sent another email Friday. And after each day, she keeps putting the date.
Oh my gosh.
So
She's
Wednesday,
documenting it here on
October
Yelp.
11th, Thursday, October 12th. And in case nobody could follow it, Friday is October the 13th. No response. So here I am on Saturday feeling completely frustrated again with the complete lack of customer service and any sort of acknowledgement that this has now gone on for over 2 weeks. And I have spent so much time on emails and trying to get through by phone, just trying to get my wine club shipment that I already paid in full in September. They had no problem with charging, just the shipping, apparently. Just unreal. The most horrendous customer service I have ever experienced. I will definitely be telling everyone I know to stay away from this place.
I feel like
That was a
Sandy
lot. I feel like
copied and
I need a
pasted her
massage right now.
complaint. Yeah. Our shoulders are up like this.
Yeah.
I think Sandy copied the complaint email she sent and put it into Yelp. That's why it's like the dates and stuff. Um,
I am literally
yeah,
sweating from
I
reading
know.
that one.
Cancel that membership, of course. My only quibble, and I'm totally feeling bad for her. I'm totally on her side. This was messed up. But My only quibble is choosing to engage about it during vacation
Right.
was her choice.
Right.
Because this is what I like tell people who work for us. I'm like, I'm not going to email you. And if someone emails you, you have an out of office.
Right.
Like you can, there are no wine club emergencies as the recipient. You can wait and demand a refund when you get home.
Mhm.
You can figure out your thing when
Exactly.
you get home. Don't
When you get
ruin
home.
your own massage. I'm just kidding. Don't
Right.
ruin your own vacation, getting all
Right.
stressed out about it.
I am with Sandy
Yeah,
100%,
totally.
but I agree. You know what? You were trying to relax and
Yeah.
you let them make you stress. I'm stressed reading your email,
I'm
reading your
stressed
thing.
too. So,
Um,
yeah. So my advice to Sandy is definitely cancel that wine club, and then next time, don't don't check your
yeah,
emails. Don't
yes.
don't worry about it.
I will say that sometimes shit happens, and even though we say we're not going to ship, sometimes it ships. I'm pretty confident it would have been all okay when you got home, you
And
know?
it wasn't there, and you'd say, "Hey, I saw they tried to deliver. They tried to deliver 2 days
Or
in a row. I was in
right,
Mexico on
right.
this very crowded island, and it's really hard to get a massage now because
No.
there's so many people."
The masseuse can't even get into my muscles
Right.
now because
Because
yeah.
so yeah,
So I'm with you, Sandy. I'm with
I
you,
know.
but I'm also agreeing with you that you know what things go by because UPS is going to do 3 attempts and then UPS is going to return it
Yeah.
to the sender. It would have gone back to UPS. I mean, it would have gone back to Babcock anyway.
Yeah.
But I am stressed about that one.
It is stressful
Yes.
because we've all been there. By the way, all sorts of reasons that things. I had ice cream recently delivered for my brother's birthday. Don't ask me why, but someone else had done it. It was a great gift, and I thought, oh, this would be a great thing. And I thought, well, I'll get it. And it showed up, and the dry ice had
Melted.
dissipated, right? And so the ice cream was kind of frozen, but not completely. And they'd said it should be rock hard.
Right.
So I kind of went back and forth and they just refunded it.
Right.
And it wasn't gonna get there in time for his birthday, so I didn't do it. But there were moments of stress of it. I'm like, oh, and I'm documenting, like, look, this dry ice is all melted. Look, see these
Right.
crystals?
Right.
Like I had to document that it hadn't arrived frozen. And in reality, I
They
could have
didn't
just
care.
told them it didn't arrive
Right. Because
frozen
they
and they
were
would
they
have
were
just
good customer
refunded me.
service. They were like, all right.
Exactly. And so I was
Yeah.
anticipating a Brianna and Jamie situation when
Yeah.
I didn't need to. So we've all been there, especially with things like wine, where you worry about the temperature, and kind
Yeah.
of get stressed out about it.
Yeah. But I agree. You know what? It would have been okay if you continued hiking and doing whatever you were doing. Um,
Yeah.
but
But by
I
the way,
also
that's a
get
hard
how
one lesson. Like I had, my boundaries weren't as good even a decade ago, right? I might have
right.
stressed myself out. I remember being at Disney World on the phone by Tom Sawyer's, right? Like
Uh,
I would never do that now.
right.
Have to be a
Right.
big emergency for me to interrupt my
Up to the
Disney time.
vacation. Right.
Mhm.
Right. All right. We're gonna do just a couple of more. Essay, short, sweet. Literally some of the worst wine that Lompoc and Santa Rita Hills have to offer. It's got to be the winemakers.
Yep. You think the wine's good, right?
I do. I
Yeah.
haven't had it
But
in
of
a
course,
while,
it's
but I do.
subjective too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's funny. It must be
Yeah.
the winemakers, not the grapes.
The grapes here are perfect.
The
They
grapes are
must not be doing
amazing.
it right. Yeah,
Yeah,
the grapes produce great wine.
yeah, yeah. I have not had their wine in a while, but
Yeah.
we've purchased quite a bit of their wine in the past.
Yeah.
Um, but it is Pinot heaven. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you know. All right. Let's see. I'm just gonna look through. Uh,
Yeah, because we're almost out of time.
yes, Lacey L. Such a disappointment. We went to celebrate a 40th birthday, saved Babcock for our last winery because we heard it was so fun. Upon arrival, the server asked us who was driving. We informed them that we had a driver that we hired. They asked if we had been drinking prior. Obviously, yes. It's my birthday, and it's the fourth winery.
Right.
We were told they could not serve us because we had been wine tasting prior to their vineyard. Babcock refused to serve us for no apparent reason. cut our wine tasting short. Well, that's contradictory.
Right.
They either refuse to serve you or cut your wine tasting short. So
they refuse to continue serving you. I think there's something to this.
Yep. Ruining a 40th birthday party. Sad excuse for a vineyard. Who refuses service to people who have been visiting other vineyards? Don't waste your time if you're looking to have a good time. All right, Lacey.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure you have too. Have you ever been next to a group like Lacey's birthday group in a tasting room?
Yes. Sadly. Yes.
And they roll in, they have a driver. Mm-hmm. They are racing to get into the next one so they can get one more in. Because, if you don't know, I know actually no one who hasn't been to wineries would even bother to listen to this. But, we know they typically close at 5. It's a farming community. They're not open till 8. There's not a nightclub. So if you start at noon, it can be hard to get 4 wineries in.
Right. You're working hard. I give Lacey kudos for having a driver.
Yeah.
Good job,
smart.
Lacey. Good job,
But it can
Lacey.
be hard to fit 4 in a reasonable.
Right. And she doesn't say how many people there are. But this is because of that contradictory sentence there. Yeah. Here is my thought. They came in, they seemed okay. And then have you ever seen somebody walk in, be okay, take literally 1 sip of additional alcohol, and they just went
100%.
Right. And that's what I am guessing happened here.
Yeah.
Is you came in, you were happy, you were bubbly, they sat you, they poured you your first wine, and you all went off the rails, and they took their RBS training seriously.
Yes.
And said, I'm sorry, I cannot serve you.
Yes. Sorry, you've already 3 wineries is probably enough.
Yeah.
And it's possible they're in the cart to the one, because there's always one. I mean, they're probably all
little feeling good,
but there's probably one. They're like, pull it together. Well,
we got
wake
one
up.
more. Just pull it
wake
together.
up. Just one more winery. Just hold it together, and then we'll go to dinner. And so someone got propped in like Weekend at Bernie's, right? And wasn't spotted by the winery staff until they'd already started service.
Yep. All right, we're going to end with these last 2 because they are short but funny. Okay. Christopher M. Christ, period. Just, period, no.
Oh, Christopher, that is an unhelpful review. It's emphatic, but unhelpful.
And Nikki L. I don't know what they're reviewing, but 0 out of 5 tiki torches. And then Nick says, WTF, question mark, 5 exclamation points. No, I'm going to go right back to you, Nick. 0 out of 5 tiki torches. Yeah. I'm going to say, what the F?
Yeah, where's that coming from, Nick? Wow. Yeah, I just wish people like that would give some kind of background so that we could see what exactly happened. But then we might tear it apart because it might not be.
Right. But it's just as easy to tear it apart as Christ, period, just, period, no. I mean, he took the time to open up Google or Yelp or whatever in the parking lot. And you could just imagine him. He's like, Christ, just no.
Never again. Awesome.
Well, Martha, that wraps up Santa Barbara. Well, thank you so much. We did, I will apologize, but I think it was funny. We did go down several rabbit holes today and make fun of some things that really didn't make sense to the podcast. And but all good, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, is just having fun and allowing our shoulders to relax and laugh at what people actually take the time to write and review.
And we wish that Sandy, we're hoping Sandy too can have our shoulders relaxed.
We are sending massaging vibes to Sandy. So. Yes. All right. Well, until next time, we will see you on One Star Winery Reviews. Slainte.
This has been another episode of Exploring the Wineglass. Thanks for listening.
If you have suggestions on what topics you would like me to discuss, please reach out on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Exploring the Wineglass. I am also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoyt Budd. Of course, you can always email me at exploringthewineglass@gmail.com and sign up for my newsletter at exploringthewineglass.com. If you enjoyed what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find me more easily. And most importantly, tell your wine-loving friends, because if you like the podcast, they will too. Podcast music is Wine by Kevins. Until next week, Slainte.
Give him the wine, give him the wine. No, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Never let you go. Oh, oh. No, no, no. Never let you go. Oh, no, no, no. I want it last glass right now.